Liftoff and the clock has started.
Penis!
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Rudy doo-doo. Sorry, I just took a hit of marijuana.
What?
Which is legal here in Colorado.
What?
What?
Since when?
Since the war.
Which war?
The drug war.
The war on drugs. So we lost, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so hey guys, welcome to the 15th episode of Mart's Brutal Brunch Season 2.
Guess what? We're legal in Arkansas.
Arkansas?
Yeah.
We've
Hit the age of consent for the South
but
on this season.
But Oklahoma, the only state with the best abbreviation, is not okay.
No, it's never okay. But with Kentucky, you could just slide right in because it's KY.
To your sister.
Well, also.
Get it?
Yeah,
it's
Kentucky.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Trip.
I'm one of your hosts, Mark.
And welcome to another episode. Mark and I are a little bit nerdy.
Are we?
I'd say, and I take that with pride.
Oh.
Like, I know more about.
Do they have a flag for that?
I don't. It's got to be somewhere. But like, I know more about Star Wars than some guy, 30-year-old guy that's in his basement that's got comics. Like, that's how much I nerd out on like that kind of shit.
You know more about Star Wars than I do.
Oh, I'm such a fucking nerd, dude. Like, I know everything about Star Wars.
Everything?
Yeah, I know more than George Lucas. I know what's gonna happen before he thinks about it.
Oh boy.
No, but today we're gonna talk a little bit about where video games are at right now. We grew up in the generation of every family had their system, and you always got.
I started on Atari. That shows my age.
So I think my first one was a PlayStation.
Oh boy.
I know we talked a little bit about this before.
Yeah.
A little bit about video games. So we're gonna like kind of hyper focus on where we're at right now with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's changed so much since we were just discussing a little bit before we even got on this podcast how you really don't even need new systems anymore because they're so expensive, and like they've had to make them backwards compatible so we can do this
and cross compatible.
Yeah,
because now you can play Xbox with PC players and like the new series of Xboxes with last generation of Xboxes with PC players. Some games you can play with PlayStation players, but only some. Like, I think Rocket League is one of those.
Well, as you know, it should be. We should all be able to play together.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time that like not necessarily the government, but some body of all these platforms.
So
like
listen here, right wing Sony.
Yeah.
Get your act together.
So yeah, like Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft get together, and they all like, hey, this is going to be a hub for all.
I don't think Nintendo's ever going to get their act together because they're so exclusive on everything of theirs.
But you got to include them.
That's true, but that's part of their like niche is making false scarcity for video games. Like, look when the Wii came out, they only released them in very small batches just to make them want it even more, so they'd sell out quickly. When they had all the Wiis made already in a factory, they just released them a certain amount at a time to keep the numbers low.
I don't agree with what
to keep sales.
With that, but they were always a titan in the industry, and you gotta give them some props. And if there's gonna be a conglomerate of everyone playing together online, then it should be all the systems.
Yeah,
like they all get together and make something. And
would that mean that Nintendo's next name would be Animal Cross Platform instead of Animal Crossing?
I was trying to come up with something smart and I couldn't.
All I know is there's something about a really bad raccoon in that game based on the memes. I've never played it.
Oh, I played Animal Crossing like crazy.
I've never.
Like when I was like, but this is like GameCube days.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said X-Cube. That's how
X-Cube.
Fucking tired I am.
I was going to say the new Xbox is more of a rectangle than a cube.
It is a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah. There were all the... Did you hear... Okay, wow. That was stumbling on my words there. Okay, so you heard all the jokes, I assume, about the new design looking like a refrigerator, right? Like back when they announced the original design of it?
No.
Okay, well, there were a lot of jokes about it looking like a refrigerator. And so some company went out of their way and made a mini fridge shaped like an Xbox Series X.
Jokes on Xbox. Like, that guy just made a shit ton of
I'm
money.
sure he did, yeah. I'm sure they sell, too.
Well, I mean, honestly, the way that they made it is smarter. Like the air goes up.
Yeah.
Heat does fucking rise.
Or sideways, depending on how you orient it.
Right. True.
Just based on how it fits in your entertainment center. But either way, that's still better than how a lot of the old ones were, where it went backwards.
Yeah, just go against the wall and come back into the...
Yeah, especially because most entertainment centers are like enclosed cube shapes, typically. Like, yeah, a lot of the newer ones are more open, but like the old school ones, it was like a solid wood chunk of...
thick-ass fucking wood.
Insulation, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, why did my Xbox overheat? You put it in a fucking microwave.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of the issue for the Red Ring of Death from the 360.
Honestly, it was because when I was a kid, like my mom was so anal about me putting it away and putting it somewhere, and I was like, it overheats. Like she's like, no, you got to put it away. It's a fucking eyesore. You know, like now we all keep it out and open.
Yeah, now it's almost like a status symbol to have the newest one, which I do. Wink.
Well, I mean, like Xboxes and like other stuff has replaced cable boxes. So it's just become more of a normalcy for.
Oh yeah,
houses to
now
have
that
it.
you don't even need a smart TV if you have an Xbox.
I run everything off my Xbox.
Yeah, like my TV is a smart TV, and I don't think I've ever used any of the functionality on it.
Is my Xbox ever off when have you come over?
No.
Yeah.
Neither is South Park.
It's a classic. Okay.
It's always on.
Speaking of South Park, have you played their video games yet?
I have not ever got around to it.
Oh my god, dude, you love it. It's really funny.
Might have to give it a shot someday.
And they're all on sale right now.
Yeah, I am just looking for Elden Ring in like a week. That's going to be taking up time.
Well, you could beat those in a week.
I have work.
That's true. Honestly, like, work ruins all my fun plans.
Doesn't it? But yeah, so Elden Ring is my next one that I'm going to be buying new, which says something.
Well, I never got into those games really. Like you
Like
talking about Elder Scrolls and stuff.
No, Elden Ring. It's by the same people that did Dark Souls, and the story is written by J.R.R. Martin.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's like it's either going to be really good or the last season of Game of Thrones.
I'm going to say that does not bode well.
No, but given as it's from software, it should be decent because they haven't had any bad games that I've seen.
Well, I bought the first Dark Soul ever, and I hated it.
That's because you weren't good.
I'm not good at video games. I suck at them.
It's a game that punishes you for being bad.
Yeah, like I got frustrated with it. I was like, "Fuck this game."
Oh yeah. Well, the trick about it is you have to learn the patterns of everything. And once you learn the patterns, it becomes like muscle memory, and you can just fly through the early content.
I'm just realizing now, like thinking back, like I should have started a video game rental service myself.
You mean like Redbox?
Yeah, like back before that was a thing. Like
Blockbuster?
well, like yeah, but they didn't always have the good video games.
I thought they did, unless they were rented out.
Well, that's the thing is like you'd go there and like they'd always be rented out by the time you got there.
That's true.
Like I had this one Gundam game I always wanted to rent out, and I never could find it in stores, and it was always gone.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, what's the point of me coming here to get this game if it was always gone?
Right. Wasn't there a way to get on like a list though to be the next person when it was returned? I feel like that was a thing back in the day.
Yeah, unless you pre-rented it for a certain amount of time or something like that. Like
Yeah.
I'm renting it for like a month.
Yeah.
And I think that people just chunked it out like that. And like in my head, like if hey,
We got some Borks.
we got some works. But my thing is like if you, as a business, the reason like that failed is like if someone has a demand for that, why are you not fulfilling it?
Nowadays, I don't think rental even works.
Well, no, because you can just download shit off the cloud.
Yeah.
I don't have CDs anymore.
Honestly, I kind of wonder why they don't do like a digital rental program where it's not so much renting, but you can like, if you don't want to spend the full amount of money for a game to try out, you spend like $15. You have it for 2 weeks. Especially if it's a new title that's not added to like any of the already subscription services.
I mean that's where everything's going anyway. Like we were talking before, like the Game Pass. Like I don't buy games anymore.
Yeah,
I just download what's on Game Pass because I'm not spending $75 to
yeah.
$140.
Like there's very few that I'll actually buy. Elden Ring is one of those.
Like I told you before, I'm spending every dime I have on the new Borderlands game that's going to come out.
Oh yeah, like especially even with Cyberpunk. Like I waited a year before I bought it and I picked it up at Best Buy for like $13 or something. But now they released a new patch yesterday that's supposed to like fix everything, added the next gen stuff with the ray tracing and all that. There's some new content in there. So it's like the first of their DLCs, but it fixed a whole lot of shit from what I've seen already.
Okay, so that's another awesome thing about the future of video games is the creators of these games are fixing stuff in real time.
But that's also leading to the problem of they're releasing it too soon and fixing it later just to get it out by a certain date.
Yeah, so there is some drawbacks to it.
Yeah.
But they have the ability to fix it in real time.
Yeah, because honestly, with the state that Cyberpunk is in now is what it should have been on release.
Well, I think that with all these new games, like everyone's trying to push the envelope so hard, and at the end of the day, we just want to play something fun.
Yeah.
I don't need like, staggering graphics or like that. But if like it's engaging and fun,
yeah,
it's got some cool aspects to it. Then you're gonna win every time. Like look at Fortnite and like P Underground and shit.
Yeah, I was gonna reference World of Warcraft because back in the day, like up until Wrath of the Lich King, it was fun. And then, they've had a few good expansions since then, but most of them have flopped.
Well, how about even more basic? How about Minecraft?
Yeah. Well, that blew up as a meme before anything because it was blowing up on 4chan before it even got famous.
Well, I remember when it was still a computer game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like back when I found out about it through 4chan way back in the day, like, I don't know, 2013-ish? Maybe later. I can't remember when it came out.
It was later because one of my neighbors was playing in his basement on his computer through the TV. And I'm like, what the fuck are you playing, man?
Well, I know it was on Xbox 360, so it goes back at least that far before the Xbox One came out.
Yeah, because I remember them playing it on the guy the Xbox. Like, I was like, why don't you just keep playing the computer? He's like, well, no, it's on now and it's on Xbox. It's like, what?
Well, now there's achievements.
Well, now there's there's campaigns and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
That's another game that's evolved over time.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I liked Minecraft in the beginning because it was like creative, but then I think like once all the Zoomers started playing it, it got kind of boring to me. Not just because it got popular, but it was more like, I don't know, it lost its appeal of being something unique. Because then also all the other off-brand games kept trying to come out and be like it. Like there was probably 1,000 different cube building games that came out within like 2 years of Minecraft getting popular.
Well, I could never get into it. Like I understand the freedom and the creative aspect of it, but for me, it's like I need some kind of achievements or something to unlock.
Well, see, now if you're trying to play a real survival game, a man's survival game, you get into Ark.
Oh, I almost downloaded that. This
Ark
weekend.
is a fucking job on the side.
How's that game set up?
It's survival. It's really hard to describe unless you actually like know what it is. So you start out as a nude dude on a beach with absolutely nothing at all. And it's just survival. But then you learn as you go that the survival requires the dinosaurs to do certain things. So you tame dinosaurs for certain tasks, and then you use them to do them, and then you realize you need more things, and then you discover there's boss fights to unlock like futuristic tech items. It's a whole thing.
Okay. Well,
it takes you... I have probably 4,000 hours into that game on Xbox.
4,000 hours?
Not even kidding. Like, I wish that was a joke. Yeah. And then PvP is so toxic, but it's the best part of the game. Because, so, if you're just playing PvE, it's almost like there's no point in half the dinosaurs.
No one knows what that is.
Okay. PvP is player versus player. PvE is player versus environment.
Okay.
So, if you're not playing, like, on a server with other people, or, I mean, you can still do PvE with people, but you can't fight people. So that renders 2/3 of everything on there, like, completely pointless. I mean, I get some people get fun with just, like, building fancy little castles and raising their dinosaurs to be pretty little colors. But the PvP is where it's at. Because, yeah, you could totally be on a server for, like, 3 days, wake up the next day, and everything you've done for 3 days is gone. But that also keeps pushing you because you get to a point where you get so good at being efficient that you can throw up a well-defended PvP base in a day if you know what you're doing from scratch.
Well, that's something I'll have to look into then.
Yeah.
Something I got to look into.
But yeah, if you get it, you can play with me. I have a dedicated server right now just so it can be chill.
Well, it's on Game Pass, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And we're playing on a server that's not on an expansion. So you'd be able to join it with the Game Pass version.
You know what game I've been playing a lot of recently?
Your mom?
No, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh, God.
I'm like really good at that game.
It's Battlefield in Star Wars
Combined.
universe. That's really all it is. It's a Star Wars skinned Battlefield.
Yeah, I love it. It's laser beams instead of bullets.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
And then, yeah, so I've been playing Ark for as long as I can remember. I've been playing it since it was early access on Xbox 360.
Yeah, because it's just
Or
started as
Xbox
It
One.
just started as like some kind of weird beta, right?
Yeah, well, it was a PC game originally, but then they ported it to Xbox. But it was still in development at the time as a game preview, back when the preview program still existed.
Right.
So I bought the original back when it was still the game preview price of like $19 before they did the official release. So I've been playing it to see all the changes, all the optimization, because back in the day it was fucking rough. Because some of the stuff would just move so much it would crash your Xbox.
Yeah, I heard nightmare stories about that game.
Yeah. But, I mean, they've got it pretty streamlined now. It looks great on the Series X.
So everyone out there, go check that shit out.
Yeah.
Go check it. Shit. Guys.
Dogs are dogging again.
Sorry, guys. The dogs are, they're doing their thing.
Yeah, so that's a fun game. Other than that, like, that's the only two I've really been playing was Cyberpunk and that.
Well, just, I love to play the new games, but they're too goddamn expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. I don't know.
Except Cyberpunk. You can pick up Cyberpunk for
Yeah.
dirt cheap at Walmart right now.
Yeah. Just really all the money I have right now is going into like virtual real estate.
And this. Oh,
Yeah,
you're one of those Earth 2 kind of guys, aren't you?
I've made some profit off of it.
Yeah, but the concept of it is horrible. Do you know why it's horrible? Because I looked into this. Like, what makes it not a good investment right now?
What is?
Earth 2?
Yeah, why?
Because it's not actually a crypto or in the blockchain or anything. So you're relying on them being dedicated to their servers to make the money right now. I know they have promises to get there.
100%.
But it's not there. And that's the thing is, like, you can't rely on them to not just be like, oh, we're done shutting off servers. Look at Google Stadia.
Yeah.
Like, they put a fuck ton of money into it to get it started, and then they're just like, and we're done.
Well, I didn't put too much into it. I mean,
Yeah.
I put around $300 and I made $25.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying, though,
Yeah.
right? Like, until it actually hits, like, a form of cryptocurrency or whatever, you're just buying something on their server. It's not actually worldwide.
Well, they just released something. They're called Mentars. You can put them on your properties.
Yeah.
It's called Net Essence, and it's going to turn into a crypto.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping getting on the ground floor now.
Yeah.
That it will do that.
I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, because then I'll make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I'm just skeptical because they didn't start with crypto to begin with.
No, again, I understand it, but as soon as they merged with Polygon Studios, I felt a lot better.
Yeah.
Because they're actually partnering with another major company.
Yeah. It makes sense. Also, the shady shit they did with the Easter egg hunt. I don't know if you heard about that.
No.
So the guy that won the Easter egg hunt, that found one first, he found it, I think, within a few hours. But then a known person found it like 7 hours later, and they claimed that the guy that found it 7 hours later was the first. And then they said, oh, yeah, we're not giving the cash prize to the guy that actually found it first. Basically because it was better publicity for the more well-known dude to have found it.
Oh, damn, that sucks.
Yeah. So that was the whole thing.
Well, damn, all right.
Anyway, these are the shady practices. You have to look into the backgrounds of these kind of things.
Well, I'm not putting another dollar into it.
And that's why I don't think it bodes well until it actually hits the point of being a crypto.
But I do own some places in Panama,
Oh.
the Bahamas,
Oh.
Haiti. I own this property that we're sitting in right now,
Oh.
and then some of the park over there.
Oh. So what do you own in real life? Yep. See, that's what I'm saying.
Got a pretty sweet drum set.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And a sweet Hannah Montana doll.
And that's the other thing about it too. Like, I mean, this goes for most video games, but claiming you own something in a video game or whatever Earth 2 is considered, I guess it's kind of a video game.
Well, VR.
It's like a VR sim. But it really only is impressive to the other people that also play that game.
Oh,
because I could tell you
100%.
about my entire mount collection in World of Warcraft and you wouldn't give two shits.
I give one.
A shit. Yeah, see? But you see what I'm saying. Like, unless someone like gets it and understands it, it's not really anything.
No. And again, like, you know, I know people like even back in the day made money off RuneScape.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's totally doable. Like, fuck, I made like $800 off the Diablo 3 marketplace back when it was still a thing.
Oh, I love that game so much.
Because I found some good items right out the gate, and I just put them right on for the money auction house, and I was able to support my WoW subscription for like 2 years based off of just items I found in Diablo 3.
Damn. Mm-hmm. What a time to be alive.
Right? And then, of course, everybody bitched because then they're like, well, now it's pay to win, which, I mean, it kind of was at that point because you could put real money in and buy the items.
That's how real life is. Fuck it.
I mean, true, but when the entire purpose of a game like Diablo is literally just loot grinding, like that's the entire purpose of any Diablo game is, like the storyline, it's okay. But nobody gives a shit about the story once they play through the story. At that point, it's grinding hours on end to just get loot.
Right, and then people can still do that, though.
That's true.
They don't have to buy anything.
No, but if people buy all the loot, then what's the point of playing? It's like cheating in games, too. Like, once you enter a cheat code to do things, what's the point of the game anymore? Because there's, like, no challenge in it. You've already done everything there is to do.
I can see both
and
sides.
And then it loses its appeal.
See, I can see both sides. Like, I can see the freedom aspect of, you know, being able to do whatever you want with the game, but I also understand of losing the complete point of the game at that point.
Because then, like, that's what Diablo is. It's a loot grind for the fun of collecting loot. And if you can just buy the loot, then there's no loot to grind. And you'll end up losing your player base a lot quicker, too, because then they'll get bored. Even though they have good items, they'll stop playing because they won't have any next step to get to.
Well, wasn't Diablo, was it randomly generated items?
Yes and no. Like, they have randomly generated items, but they also have, like, unique items. But unique items are the ones that have the best builds because they're not random.
See, I feel like the way around that problem is making every item completely randomized.
Well, yeah, but
so that way it never stops.
But at that point, there's still only a certain maximum to certain skills, certain cast rates, all that you can even hit. Like, there's always a cap.
Well, they got to keep up with that and keep on pushing that.
Well, they can't because then it would be game breaking if they keep pushing. Because if the content doesn't get harder, then there's no point in needing a higher cap.
Or just making a harder level.
Yeah, that takes a lot more programming though than I think you're aware of.
Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll just put some ones and zeros in. Mm-hmm. I'll do it.
Yeah, so like that kind of game loses its entire appeal just because the whole point of it is literally collecting loot.
You know, I can see both sides. It's a hard debate to go through, man. Like, you know, there's two sides of the coin.
Like, I don't mind if there's transactions for cosmetic type things, but as long as they're not like game enhancing items.
Like skins and stuff might be cool to trade.
Yeah, like even in World of Warcraft, they have like mounts you can buy, but you still can't use that mount until you've like learned how to use a mount in World of Warcraft. So it's not like you're benefiting any more than you would any other way by just buying one versus finding one. But fortunately, none of the ones in the marketplace are available to be found. So that means like all the rare ones are still good to find because you still did the work for it.
Well, I think this is a debate for another day. Mm-hmm. We want to thank you guys so much for listening to this 15th episode of Brutal Brunch. Make sure you guys follow us everywhere. Blah, yada, yada, Instagram, Facebook, pages.
Don't forget to spay and neuter your dogs.
Yep. Wash your hands twice.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Now that most of the mask mandate is over, please start wearing them on your butts to prevent fart from getting in other people's mouths.
Only you can. Oh, I said that. Buckle up. It's the law. That's another one. Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
If you're going to finger your butthole, spit on it first.
Wouldn't that just make a fudge pop?
Hey, man, we are what we eat. All right, guys. As a tradition, peace.
Peace.